Hello and welcome back. Coffee with Carl number 42. And it's a little dark in here because most of the time I'll turn on the studio lights, but today I didn't. So you're going to see a lot of changing light because right now outside it doesn't know what it wants to do. It's kind of like maybe it's going to rain, maybe it's going to be sunny, and it can't make up its mind. So you're going to see a little bit of changing light here. So that's a little fun fact for you. We got a lot to get through today. It's going to be an exciting episode. I mean, I think so, at least. And if you're here, hopefully you do too. So I don't have a whole lot of time to kind of like ease into what we have going on today. One of the things that I have in front of me right here is 5 different versions of the upcoming Thursday Boot collaboration. And I'm going to wait to show that to the patrons. I'm sorry, I don't want to make anybody upset, but you know, my patrons are the biggest supporters that I have, and they are the reason that I can do this. And if there's any way I can ever thank them or give them something special, I do. And so I just got these in yesterday, and I haven't even opened most of the boxes yet. I opened a couple, and I was like, well, these are too good, and I want to show them on camera. So that's what we're going to do for the patrons only portion, so hang on for that. The other thing is, you know, most people who watch this channel, they kind of understand that this is off the cuff, my opinion, and I'm kind of throwing things out there that I like and that you might too. And I think that we have a little bit of a kind of an understanding that this is pretty unpolished. I sit down, I have a list of things that I want to go over, but besides that, it is very off the cuff. And I like that because it lets me just be me. And if you don't like that, you don't have to watch. And if you do, then awesome. You're part of the tribe here, right? Well, occasionally I'll get a comment from somebody who thinks that, you know, basically there are no such things as differing opinions. And I got one of those last week on this channel, which is a first because this channel has usually been sort of a secret for people who remember this thing from back on the main channel. And they came over here. I don't do any SEO. I don't do any clickbaity titles. I don't do anything, even the thumbnails, right? It was just me screwing around with Midjourney and putting my little logo on top of that. And it's just very like, if you know kind of thing, right? So most of the time, the people who are here want to be here. But last week, I got a comment about the BO1 alternative and how stretch is just never a good thing. And I was wrong, and they were disappointed in me for even bringing it up as an option. And to which I say, hey, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. Some people do like stretch. And just because you don't doesn't mean that that is the end of it, okay? Stretch has its place. So does 100% natural materials. And who you are and what you value will depend on what you like, your preferences. So I see nothing wrong with somebody wearing things that are 100% stretch. They could be freaking 75% spandex. And yeah, they won't last forever. But a lot of people, they simply want to be comfortable now. And they're going to burn through that workwear, and then they're going to replace it. I do have some Carhartt pieces from a long time ago, but most of my pants, they didn't survive. Even the double knee stuff, they were just, you know, you blow through them, they become rags after a little while, and then you just toss them. And so, you know, I think that there's a lot of different consumers. A lot of the things that I mention on here, I personally would never buy, especially the weird pick stuff, or I just bring it to your attention because I think it's interesting, or it's something noteworthy that a company is doing. So to say that, you know, you're disappointed with me for bringing up an option, it seems kind of silly. So I certainly don't want to put a spotlight on somebody for sharing their opinion, nor do I want to give undue attention to somebody who is bringing negativity when there is so much positivity in the comments, and I really do cherish those. It's just that sometimes when things like that happen, I think we need to reset a little bit and understand that there are many people who value many different things, and just because it's not what you particularly want doesn't mean it's wrong. So let's just go forward saying that. All right, some cool stuff came out this week, and I don't have a lot of time to get through it because we got a cruise, right? We got a lot of cool stuff. The first thing here is from a company I've been meaning to cover for a while. This is Blackthorn Leather. And what I like about Blackthorn Leather is there's a sense of artistry and there's a drama to them. They have a lot of interesting burnishing that they do on their pieces. A lot of times you have, you know, leather workers nowadays are a dime a dozen. The barrier to entry is very low. And as soon as you learn how to saddle stitch and come up with some decent patterns, you're a leather worker, right? But then you have people like Redbeard's Leather, and others who have taken this thing to a level of artistry that I'm just like, I couldn't even touch. It's unreal how nice these are. Blackthorn Leather has that sort of same thing going, where everything I see that they make has a vibe to it that I really like. And I saw this and I was like, that's freaking awesome. $65. It's a sunglass case. And now oftentimes I buy sunglasses. Most of mine are from Randolph Engineering. I like Randolph Engineering. There's a lot of other great companies out there, and I'll put them either in my center console in my car. In my truck I have one like above the thing, but I almost never like pay attention to the case unless I'm traveling. And when I went to Montana, I certainly was digging around trying to find a decent case to put them in so they didn't get crushed. And so I saw this and I was like, well, I wish I had that. This is made out of obviously leather, but it uses a buffalo nickel as the snap here. So it's made out of a 5-6 ounce vegetable tanned leather, of course, with that buffalo nickel snap closure. It's been wet formed, which is really cool. I gotta tell you, I don't know. This is just awesome. I think that with a case like this, I wouldn't lose it. And I would bring it around me all the time. And it would probably protect my investment better than one that, a case that comes with them and that I just throw away. This is something that I would happily, proudly carry with me and probably display, especially in brown. They have it in black as well, but something about that brown has some nice character to it. And so Blackthorn Leather, man, making some really cool stuff. Heat Straps came out with their flannel, which I believe, I actually don't have the page in front of me here, which I believe is an 11-ounce Japanese fabric. And it's like an ombre, and it came in two colors or two colorways. I don't want to say colors because one is a brownish and then one is more of a black and white, and they look really good. Now, what I like about what Heat Straps did with these, number one, they have very interesting branded buttons where the branding is actually on like the edge of the button, not on the face of the button. The other thing is that these are very deep dish buttons. They're amazing to see. You feel like you could eat a bowl of cereal out of these things. Like, you look at it and it's just like the concave center of it is very cool. Really interesting. I've never seen it before. And they also did something very cool with the pockets. The pockets have those expandable gussets in them, and you could really pack them full if you wanted to. Heat Straps is certainly carving out their own little niche, which I think is to this point has sort of gone unfilled. You do have brands out there like Red Clouds Collective, like Grease Point Workwear, but they almost, to me, they tend to exist in their own little islands. And it seems like Heat Straps is coming in and doing some interesting stuff, which I'm happy to see. I'm very happy to see them doing well. Iron Heart, another company that I like to talk about on this channel, came out with their 17-ounce duck CPO work shirt. It's called The Untucked, and this is in brown. What is this? This is in duck. Yeah, so obviously 17-ounce duck. Just to give you an idea, Carhartt's duck is 12 ounce. Even their rigid, firm duck, basically all of their duck starts with the same source fabric, and then it's treated. This is 17 ounces, so it's heavier than that. That, to me, takes this right out of the shirt category and puts it into jacket territory. Of course, I think with the way that they're kind of showing this is it's a shacket, but I wish that what they had done on this is made the hem straight. You can see that it has that sort of scoop in the front and in the back, and you could certainly wear it open as they show here, which looks great, but at the same time, I would say if they had made it a flat bottom, sort of like I think the Fargo shirt from Indigo Farah was, then it would be easier to wear like a light jacket. I don't know. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with shirt jacks. On the one hand, it just looks like a sloppy big shirt. On the other hand, it is kind of nice to have something that's sort of between, so you're not wearing your heavy stuff. But either way, I think this looks cool. I think they did a nice job too, especially with the snaps and everything. It has that chain stitch runoff. They show a guy wearing it. Come on, man. Like there's certain like style rules that should be in place for everybody. One of the pictures here, they have a guy wearing a jacket, like a denim vest over this shirt, and the shirt is poking out beneath it, and it looks kind of silly to wear it that way. If you're gonna wear a vest over this, then please tuck it in, because it just looks like you forgot to tuck your shirt in. So I think that this can look good depending on how you wear it. It's an interesting piece, though. If you want 17-ounce duck, there it is. And this is some pretty heavy, intense stuff. And who better to come out with that than Iron Heart? Here's something I almost never talk about, beards, right? Now, I mean, obviously, I have a beard. I tell people that my hair migrated south. And, you know, I mean, I take care of it. I'm not really weird about it. Like some people get all into the oils and balms and beard butters and, you know, different implements for trimming it. And like there's contests for people with beards and stuff. I wash it, I dry it, and then occasionally I'll put some beard oil in it just so it's not real crispy. That's about it. I don't get too fussy with it. But my friends over at Beard Brand came out with the Beard Brand Utility Trimmer, which is now on Kickstarter. And it looks like it's $112. I don't know it. Okay, so it's got a ceramic blade. That's very important. It has 240-minute run time in case you really, really want to get in there all day long. I think that's just for longevity. Also comes with some guards, comes with a little charging stand, all kinds of stuff. And I like Beard Brand. I really like their products. I think that them moving into an actual piece like this makes sense. Now, I don't use this because I don't have one. I don't think it's even available yet. The ones that I like are from a company called Babyless, and they have a lot of the things that I really like. As a matter of fact, I talked to a professional barber to get a recommendation. He said either Wall 5-star or Babyless, and I got the Babyless a while ago. Really like those. But Beard Brand's coming out with one, and it looks really good. So if you're going to go after one of those like manscaper, lawnmower type of things, maybe look at something like this, because I would be willing to bet that this is a better quality product. Sight unseen, haven't tried it, but if I know Beard Brand, usually they don't do anything half-assed. Recently, I actually switched projects within my company. So we were doing a neuroscience center, and then I got reassigned that building, the neuroscience center. The steel's coming up. One tower is well on the way. The other one's coming out of the ground. I got reassigned, though, to do some other stuff. And in the beginning now, when we're doing layout and we're kind of getting started, I have to go into the office. Our office is a little unique because they like you to wear a tie and shirt and tie. And I don't like wearing a tie. I really don't. I have a pretty thick neck, and I found that if I wear a 17-inch collar, usually the sleeves are way too long for me. So, I just have that typical problem that I have with everything. But I do like to look put together, so I was like, I have all this stuff, but I don't really have anything besides my regular, like, suit blazers or anything like that. What is out there that would be appropriate and also kind of have my style? So I started looking around for some of these more casual blazers, and I actually found this here. This is the Flyweight Flex Blazer. So it has some flex, some stretch. Sorry for those purists out there who, are disappointed in my comments. But this actually looks pretty cool. It's also completely unlined, so that means that you could wear it almost any time of year and it won't be like too stuffy. If you're going to wear a tweed blazer, that's going to be pretty warm. And that might be too warm for most people. But this also comes in a whole bunch of colors. So you have, it looks like there's probably 10 different colors here, and they all look pretty like rugged. As a matter of fact, all of the sizes are also available here. So it's not cheap. It's $298, but it actually looks really good. And I want to try this thing out. As a matter of fact, I think that I'm sort of talking myself into getting it. I really am, because it looks really nice. And this is what I mean. I love this kind of stuff where it's almost a little bit of toned down, dressed up kind of stuff. I always like that soft tailoring look where you look put together but not stuffy. And I think this is a good way to do it. Boy, it's getting dark out there, huh? It looks like I'm sitting in the corner, like being all creepy. But either way, I like this. I'm not sure what color I would get. Probably not the Dark Army. That looks a little... First of all, Dark Army is a great name. That's a fantastic name for a horror. No, that was the Army of Darkness, Bruce Campbell and the Army of Darkness. But Dark Army, I kind of like that. I think that's a cool name. I might go with something like the khaki. I definitely wouldn't go with black, because black doesn't look right unless the two blacks match. So if you had a black pair of pants and a black top... Very often they'll fade at different rates, and so black looks weird unless it's only by itself. I might get something like this gray, or they have something that's a little bit darker here, which is, what's this color called? Muted olive? Maybe muted olive. Certainly don't want it to look like a surplus piece, but anyway, long story short, This looks really good, especially for these coming up months where maybe I have to look halfway presentable until I get back out in the field to do more work. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, hey, that doesn't look too bad. The Rite stuff has been known as, well, around these parts, and what I mean is up here in my studio, we know it as basically the best chambray shirt that money can buy. I have two. I have one of their green ones, which I think is called Sage. Never saw that color from another company before. And then I have one I think that was in Redwood, which is kind of more of a, you know, a pinkish hue. And they're, in mine, from what I understand, they're one of the only companies that offers these salt and pepper chambrays. And they're just spectacular. I love everything about them. They have these very old school details. The guy who runs the Rite stuff, I wish I knew his name. I've actually heard of I heard a podcast with him on it, and he was very interesting. He takes a lot of inspiration from old advertisements and stuff like that and makes these new reimagined pieces. I love what he's doing. So he has a new flannel available. And there are some interesting parallels between this and the heat straps one that I mentioned before. They're different. I mean, the layout is different. The colors are different. You can get this in green. You can get it in red. It's called the Icebreaker Buffalo Plaid. This is also 11-ounce heavyweight Japanese flannel, $250. And, you know, I mean, 11 ounces isn't the heaviest flannel out there, but it's a good weight, especially when you want it to do a lot of things. You want it to be versatile. You want to be able to, you know, sit indoors with it on and not be sweating. You want to go outside, be able to throw a jacket over it and have it keep you warm. And I think that they do a great job. And this looks really, really good. So good, in fact, that I ordered one to use in my flannel roundup this year. We will be having one of the heat straps ones. I'll be having one of these there. A couple of other surprises are coming up. But if you remember, the way this whole series started was me unboxing all the flannels that I got for that roundup. So I think I'm going to kind of make that an annual thing. When these come in, I'm not going to open them up. I'm going to keep them. And then when they all are ready, I'm going to unbox them here. And that'll be our annual thing that we do. How do you feel about that? Good. All right, Free Note Cloth, another company that is definitely not a stranger to this channel. I love what they do. In my opinion, the Free Note Cloth bottoms are some of the best out there. And I mean, you know, you could probably find the same quality with some of the other high-end brands, but Free Note Cloth always does interesting stuff. And so they have some things that I've never seen before. And one of the things they have here is this vintage blue color that immediately my eye went to. I saw these and I was like, I love it. I really like that pale blue, almost postal office kind of look. Gustin had something like this a while ago, and I was almost going to pull the trigger. Love Gustin, and I didn't. And I always kind of regretted it because I love that color. We always see like, you know, what I have on right now, like this medium indigo or dark wash indigo or light, but you very rarely see this kind of vintagey blue. It reminds me of the jeans my dad used to wear. And these just look great. Now, of course, being Free Note Cloth, it's expensive. And I think that Free Note Cloth is typically 10% too expensive across the board. I really would love if these were kind of knocked back down, maybe into the low 200s, but hey, they are what they are. They do what they do, and if you don't want to buy it, you can vote with your dollar. And I have a hard time not getting these because they look spectacular. These are the Rios 12-ounce vintage blue denim. I think they have them in a couple of different fits, but oh my God, these just look really, really nice. I love what Free Note does with their back pockets. Even when they're worn by this model, like I said, I just think that color pops. It has some really nice kind of dusty blue tones to it. Wonderful job on these. I do think that I had seen these originally, again, with Gustin. I think Naked and Famous did something with this kind of thing before, so that's not entirely brand new, but something about these, I don't know, they just caught my eye, and I had to tell you about them. Have you ever heard of Benzac Denim Developers? Well, I have heard great things about their military chino. This here is their BC3 straight chino, and supposedly they had taken this military twill, which, again, they're known for, and they've updated it. So from what I can see here, they've changed the pocket bags. I believe they were a chambray before. Now I think they're a cotton poly blend, which to me doesn't sound like a really big upgrade, but they said they're thinner and they don't really like poke through. So sometimes you're almost like printing with your pocket bag because they're so thick. I guess they've done, they've changed things with these so they kind of blend in a little bit more. They've also changed the patch from leather to something else. They tell you here, and I'll put the thing up so you can read it. But, you know, to go away from leather, again, I think to me, it seems like what they're doing is they're actually making these just a little bit more dressy, which I appreciate because we have our fill certainly of rugged and casual bottoms out there. So it's nice to have something that maybe is a little bit more dressed up. So I appreciate that as well. And these are actually made in Portugal. Now, if you don't know, Portugal is known for their very high-end finishing. I mean, Portuguese shirts, Portuguese flannel, stuff like that is really, really good, and very a lot of people use Portugal because of their high standards of manufacturing. The other thing is that the language barrier is not hard to get through. Their time zone isn't completely different. There's a lot of reasons that people do business with Portugal. And anything you see coming out of there, usually you can guess that it's probably made pretty damn well. This is 10-ounce Japanese golden brown reverse sateen. It's fabric woven by Collect Mills. It's 100% cotton. It is washed, so that was one of the other things that they've done. I guess before, you basically got these, and it was almost like unsanforized denim. You'd get them, you'd wash them, and then they would inevitably shrink a little bit. And you weren't really sure to what degree. It's always kind of a guessing game. Well, now they come to you pre-shrunk. They may shrink a little bit past this, but you get them, and they're going to be much closer to what you're actually going to end up with. And again, in my pursuit of looking for stuff that would work well in the office temporarily while I'm there, I was looking at these as potentially a great thing to wear as a heritagey kind of office appropriate attire. I gotta tell you, I really don't care to be in the office. I don't like the stuffy cubicles, the ties, the whole thing. To me, I like it back out on the site. That's where I feel like I belong. But unfortunately, sometimes you just have to do things you don't want to do. And, you know, because now I've been doing construction for 20 years plus, my jobs are really more with the layout and the tracking and all of the kind of the back end stuff. You know, I mean, when I was 25, I was going up and down ladders and pulling wire like anybody's business. But now at 43, I probably couldn't keep up very well. So, you know, I think as time goes on, you transition to those roles, which are a little more supervisory in nature, but I still like to have my hands in it, and I still like to be out there with the people. And so this is a great way to get something that, again, could work well in both situations. All right, I've got a weird pick for you. Again, we've gone through a lot of products here today, but I saw this and I was like, what are you thinking? Come on, man. Like, you know, I get it. You know, Capital comes out with some wacky stuff, but they're making fashion. And, you know, we've seen some interesting stuff from Needles and other companies. This here, I don't know who's going to buy this. This is by CP Company. It's the Extrafine Merino Wool Goggle Beanie, and you can get it for $175. It is a beanie that has sunglasses woven into it. So that's good. That's a good thing in case you forget your sunglasses. You can look really cool by pulling your beanie down and using those over your eyes, which remind me of that. What was that character in Fat Albert? Was it Mushmouth, who had the hat pulled down way over his eyes? It looks like that. Why would you ever get these? That is so ridiculous to me. Like, and they show the guy wearing it, and I bet you the model didn't even, he was like, look guys, you know what? He looks pretty mad anyway. He was probably like, I'm not pulling that over my eyes. You guys could go pound sand. There's just no way I'm doing that because it looks dumb. What are you doing? Now, most of the time I don't pass judgment. I don't say like, this is stupid, because I think that there's probably, you know, like maybe somebody enjoys this kind of thing, but I look at these and I just think that's stupid. What are you doing? It's a wool beanie, and you forgot your sunglasses at home, so you could flip that thing down. How bright is it out there? Now, I know when you ski and stuff, but like, you're not prepared? Oh my God. Anyway, go ahead and get these if you want, if you're a weirdo. All right, look, I've ranted and raved enough, and we have all these here to go through. So I need to save some time for this patrons only section, because we have some stuff to go through here that I want to tell you about for this upcoming Thursday Boots collab. And that's a whole story in and of itself. Why am I doing a collaboration with Thursday Boots? Haven't I given them a lot of crap in the past? Yes, I have. And that story will be told for sure. But I think we've come up with something really great here, and I can't wait to show it to the patrons. So if you're a patron, stick around. If not, I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Whether you support me or not over on Patreon, I mean, it's okay. I love you anyway. And but I always try to give a little bit extra to those who decide to support me. So anyway, have a great week. I will talk to you next week.